Dylan, at 17 years old, a lot of us look at you and go, my goodness, he's so young, but you have been in a car since before you were 5 years old. That's a long time. What's this journey been like for you?
It's been almost surreal. I mean, I started this when I was about 4 years old, like you said, in go-karts, and at first it kind of started as just a hobby and to see something that I would like, and then when I progressed through my career, it just turned into a full-time career. So I was thankful enough to start at an early age, and now we're just progressing it through the ranks, and hopefully I'll be in Sprint Cup one day.
I'm sure almost everywhere you go, every time you get in that race car, you're one of the youngest guys on the racetrack. How has that motivated you?
You know, it's definitely motivated me a lot. I mean, I always go out there and try to beat, you know, the older guys that are out there, because sometimes they look at me as, you know, just a little kid that can't do anything on the track. But when I go out there and I put a whooping on them, it definitely feels good to go out there and beat those guys. So, you know, I always try to go out there and not look at age as something that's going to hold me back. So no matter what age and what people I'm competing against, I always go out there and try to win the race.
I saw that little smile, so I'm sure there's no smack talk with some of the older guys, huh?
I mean, there's a little bit, especially when I was running with my teammate Greg. I mean, we definitely butted heads a little bit and had a little bit of smack talking, but, you know, I always like messing around with the older guys and saying, you know, the young guys are here to play.
So you were at Bristol this weekend. The Nationwide Series was there as well as the Cup Series. Who are some of the mentors that you've turned to, and what kind of advice have they given you about the journey that you're going to be on?
You know, it's hard to say a couple mentors. I mean, just through the ranks of driving that I've done, I've kind of self-taught myself a little bit, and I've never had somebody that, you know, I've really talked to a lot about. But now that I've gotten in these upper series, I mean, last year when I was running with Greg Persley and Gene Price Motorsports, I definitely looked to him for a lot of advice for the new tracks that we were going to, and some advice on setup and kind of how you drive the cars. And now, you know, I've got a lot of young guys on my team. I got Kenzie Rustin and Austin Dine full-time with Turner Scott Motorsports. And it's cool having those young guys with me, because I can kind of relate to them a little bit more, and I can kind of, you know, talk about what we're going to do at the racetrack. So it's cool having these guys around me, and hopefully when I go up to the next series, I'll have some more guys that I can look up and get some advice from. Okay, so that leads me to my next question. Big birthday coming up at the end of May. 18 years old, and it's big because that's when you'll be eligible to race in one of NASCAR's top 3 series. How soon do you think we'll see you in one of those races? You know, I think there's a good chance that we might be able to get in a couple nationwide races maybe. We're still working on it, and it's definitely high hopes for it, but hopefully by the end of the year we might run a couple of nationwide races. But like you said, I cannot wait to turn 18, because that's going to be the big day that I can go up and compete with the biggest guys in the name.
Counting down the days, I'm sure. We had another young driver on the show earlier this week, Kyle Larson, and we asked him the same question. For people who are just starting to get to know you and get to know your name, tell us something non-racing related that we need to know.
You know, I'm still a high school senior. I mean, I go to regular high school. I mean, I took time out of class actually to come and do this right here. So people think that because I race cars, I'm not going to school full time, or I'm just like a robot that goes and races cars. But, you know, I'm still a 17-year-old kid, and I do everything that 17-year-old kids do. And I guess something that a lot of people don't know is when I go to take my driving test, I failed my permit test the first time, and I failed my driver's test the first time. So I was devastated after that. And, you know, I still have to go through the normal trials and tribulations of a 16-year-old and 17-year-old.
Well, those teachers have to know that they can't try to make you make right-hand turns. You got to stick with just left-hand turns, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I was failed on a left-hand turn, so I was almost about to cry because I was so disappointed that I just failed my driving test. I couldn't believe it.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks. I appreciate you having me.